how to force capital appreciation in any of your properties. Well, number one is you want to think about what the things I can look out for before purchasing the property that are going to mean I can get it at a much lower rate, much lower cost than it's actually worth. So number one is auction. If you're purchasing at auction, typically there may be something wrong with it, or the seller may be after a quick sale, but it will mean that likely you will be able to secure it at a lower price than you would on the market, because there's a little bit more of an associated risk. It's always worth being clear on what the risk is ahead of time to make sure that you're comfortable before purchasing. Number two is figuring out, is there a property that is really in need of renovation? Has it got holes in the roof? Is it leaking? Has it got damp? All of these things that will put off buyers that want an easy sale. But if you know how to deliver those and how to resolve those issues, then suddenly you can figure out how much lower can I actually purchase this for, which will allow you to be creative in your thinking of, I know how much this is going to cost me to resolve, I know how much it's going to be worth at the end, and I know how much I can make in between that. So that's another thing to consider. Thirdly is figuring out, where is the property to? Is it in a desirable location? Is it somewhere that's potentially not so desirable today, but maybe more in the future? For example, if you look at where the bigger hotel chains and restaurants are starting to develop, they've done a load of research into those areas, and they know that there's demand, they know that there's growth in that area. So if you can basically piggyback on those key hotspot locations, then you're likely to have a bit of a ripple in terms of the value of the property going up. And finally, I think it's about being ruthless in your offers. You should be very clear on what you need to buy it for, how much you're going to be spending on the refurb, and what it's going to be valued at the end, so you know how much profit you're likely to make and what return on investment you're going to get. So what I would say is, if you're clear on those numbers and you can get to the point where you know your offer price for you to be able to get your certain return, then just go in with that offer. Be ruthless, be relentless. Don't worry about what someone's going to think. As long as it's not too crazy, then they might start to think you're wasting everyone's time and you'll get a bit of a reputation. But within reason, if you can justify your numbers, go with the number you have, even if it is much lower than the asking price, because chances are most of the time the asking price often is way too high and the expectations of the seller is pretty crazy. And those are just a few examples of how you can look to purchase the property at a lower value, which will automatically up your price at the end once you've gone through the steps of resolving and improving and getting it to the standard that it needs to be. That's exactly what we do, by the way. We look to find a property with all of those things that we can acquire, that we can renovate and we can add value to get us to that maximum end value, meaning we can pull out as much money as possible. So if you want more insights into how we do this, do follow me, because I'll be dropping more tips on how we do it.